everybody! Welcome in! Hello! Happy Tuesday! Hello! 180! Dang, Grima. 180 streams. That's insane. Hello! Hi! Hello! It is time for Ace Attorney, for the Great Ace Attorney. How is everybody doing today on this Tuesday morning? Hope y'all are doing fantastic today. Oh boy. This first case is a lot longer than I thought it was going to be, for sure. Congrats on the 180 stream streak as well there, Metal Spider. Hello. Welcome in. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time of day it is for you. I hope you're doing fantastic today. Excuse me. Nah, not eepy, just little tense. It's been raining a lot, been very stormy, so I'm a little tense in the shoulders. Congrats on getting 3 triple 20s if it starts. Huh? 3 triple 20s. Oh, yeah. Okay, got it. I just finished doing some dishes. How's your day going so far? So far, so good. So far, so good, dog. Let's make sure to send plenty of stretch times. Thanks, guys. I appreciate it. It's raining here, too. Yeah, it's supposed to be raining all day today. All day. I don't like that. Actually, no. Right now, it looks like the weather's changed and we're not getting very much rain at all today.
I'm thirsty.
Gosh darn it, the weather changes so quickly. Maybe it's maybe another day this week that's gonna be super rainy. But it's been raining a lot and it's been humid and hot. So, thank you for the hydrate and the stretch. Thank you. No worries, Danny. Welcome in. Good to see ya. Excuse me. It's just cloudy. Oh, cloudy. Gotcha. Ugh. Currently hoping for rain because I'm sick of this heat. It's hot. Today's humidity makes it feel hotter than it actually is. Like almost 20 degrees hotter than it actually is. Because it's so dang humid. Thunder is near my house? Oh goodness. Please be safe, Shoral. Excuse me. All good, Danny. Gotta take care of yourself first and foremost here. You know Thor is involved when thunder strikes? Oh gosh. If Thor was real, yes. Oh boy though. Wish I could sub, I hate being broke. Well, there are ways to fix that, but it's up to you which path you want to take. I was supposed to go to the beach today. Oh, dang! That stinks. That really stinks when the weather messes with your plans like that. That really stinks. Thor is so real, his name is Chris Hemsworth.
Matty Thigodi to Smash Bro is serving for
Okay.
7 more months. Wait,
Thank you
why
for the,
does it say
thank
7?
you for the 7
I
more.
thought it was 4. Oh well, either way. Hey Arya. I'm still recovering from the Evo reactions, but it's a work on progress, hee hee. Good to be subbed once again. Alright, now I am probably head back. It's okay, Ash. I'm getting fine XD.
Alright. I hope that you'll recover from the Evo reactions soon. But thank you for that 7-month resub. Welcome once again to the Officer Shadeslayer group, even though you never officially left. Good to have you, Maddie. Goodness gracious. Someone asked me if I was eepy and now I'm yawning. Gosh dang it. What did y'all start? Oh dear. Ah. No, that's not what I wanted to do. So you were eepy? Only because you said something, Squeesh. Only because you said something, Squeesh. I wasn't eepy before. Oh dear. Alright, hold on. Yes, yawning is contagious. Alrighty though. Let's get into this. Come on, load. There we go. I'm sorry, I'm jamming to this music again. This music is so dang good! It has such good music. Alright, anyways, focus.
Look forward to the day we meet again. Until then, I hope life treats you well, Professor.
Thank you for the Clive line. Alright. Let's load a save game. And load from where we were.
To the judgment of the
Oratrice Mécanique d'Analyse Cardinal. We now turn to the Oratrice Mécanique d'Analyse Cardinal. Well, we are in a courtroom. So perfect timing on that one, actually. Yes, I see that. Alright, let's see. Alright, we're at his testimony here. Oh, yes! Okay. So. Let's see what we can learn from Miss Giselle Brett today. Unfortunately, I have no idea when the poor man burnt his wrist like that. When the waiter brought my steak, the professor and I raised our glasses in a toast. As far as I've heard, the post-mortem report showed no other possible causes of death besides the gunshot. If there's some other way a man's life can be taken without leaving a trace, please do show me. But of course, this country's inferior investigative techniques probably wouldn't pick up on it anyway. Well, luckily for you, we have higher knowledge on things that could kill people without leaving a quote-unquote trace. That most captivating and beautiful testimony will go down in the Supreme Court's history. Thank you. Easy does it. I hope that is the last time I will have to sully my lips with the coarse tones of your unbecoming tongue. Oh, forgive me. I do hope I haven't insulted anyone. Not at all, not at all. It is a delight merely to hear you speak, dear lady. And it seems very clear from your testimony that this boorish talk of the victim's burn is utterly irrelevant. I will be speaking to your country's Minister of Justice about what happened here today. The Minister of Justice? May that irritating little bully of a student be given the harshest punishment possible. Amen. Huh? Thanks? Was that a prayer then? Well, you'll have to forgive the irritation, Miss Brett, and put up with a cross-examination now. I expect you've noticed that this little bully of a student, as you put it, doesn't miss much.
I'm sure I don't need to remind you, Counsel, that this will be your final cross-examination in this trial. If you fail to demonstrate any problems with this witness's testimony, I will be ruling on the case immediately. Is that clear?
Whoa!
Yes, Your Excellency.
Slap yourself in the face to wake yourself up. Alright then, Ryunosuke. Motivational slap. Yes. Oh, goodness gracious.
Then you may proceed with the cross-examination.
Oh boy. Let's see. Let me press on that last statement she said. Because something, you know, intrigued me about what she said.
Yes! Inferior? What do you mean by that?
In the lands of the Great British Empire, the police store everything found at a crime scene for later examination. But in this country, you investigate once and that's the end of it. Isn't that so?
Quite right. The carnival is open for business as usual today, just days after the incident.
Exactly. Which means that even if the investigation takes a different direction, vital evidence may be What was that? What was that? It doesn't even occur to your naive detectives to try to preserve the crime scene. I'm trying to be as tactful about this as I can, you understand.
Haha! A killer blow! The lady is as formidable as she is beautiful. Amazing. He's actually admitting our police may be flawed. Perhaps Prosecutor Aouchi is finally starting to see sense. I very much doubt that. Still, there's something about what Miss Brett said. There was a moment before, when something didn't seem quite right. What do you think, Ryunosuke? I think it's going terribly. No matter how much I press her, I'm not turning up any new information. Yes, as I suspected, she's a tough witness. Need to find a way to break her testimony or the cross-examination will be over. But that would mean I have to find a way. There must be some clue somewhere to help us find a chink in her armor. Kazuma. What, Ryunosuke? There is one thing I noticed. Something that's been bothering me. Bothering me? You mean about Miss Brett? Actually, no. About the person standing next to her, Inspector Hosonaga, the detective. Yes, he seemed to react a little strange to Miss Brett's last statement. I was wondering if it might be significant, if it might present an opening, maybe. All right, I have an idea. Try pressing her on that last statement one more time. I think so, but this time, instead of targeting the woman herself, let's see what we can get out of the detective.
Oh yes, I'm familiar with this concept. This is in the crossover. This concept is in the crossover.
Alright then. I wonder what Kazuma's thinking. We'll find out soon enough, I suppose. Once I press Miss Brett on her last statement again.
Alright. Let's do it again. Let's press it again.
Yes!
Right, we'll skip through the beginning parts because we already read it. And then we'll have wait till Hosen. Oh, there it is. Hold on.
Yes! There it is again! The detective's reaction is just the same as before. Why? Up until now, the detective has been in the stand with Miss Brett as her interpreter. But things are very different now. For this testimony, the detective is just listening to what the Englishwoman has to say. This could be a golden opportunity. What do you mean? When people are actually testifying, they are usually very careful not to let anything slip. However, when they're listening to someone else speak, you'll find they often let their guard down. Right. Look at him. He's lost in his own thoughts. It's time to pursue the man and his train of thought. Sorry? Pursue? I'll explain how to do it now, Ryunosuke. It's all to do with the witness.
I will have order.
Oh my. At the moment, we're focused on Miss Brett, who's the person actually making the current statement.
Yep, this is just like the crossover.
When moving the marker left and right with A and D, you can turn your attention to other people in the stand. While you're looking at the other witnesses, you'll be able to pursue them. If you catch the person at just the right time, you might uncover some new information to pursue. If you ever notice a strange atmosphere among the people on the stand, take a good look around. Alright then. First I should move the marker across and focus on the detective. Then pursue him and see what's on his mind. We go.
Wait.
Alright, here we go. Over here.
Excuse me.
Yeah, excuse me! Excuse me! Oh goodness, buddy! Calm down! Buddy! Buddy, you look terrible. You need to calm down there. Goodness gracious.
I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to shock you. Really was lost in his thoughts. Deeply. It looked like you were thinking something just now, Inspector. Perhaps having heard what the lady next to you had to say? If there's something you'd like to say, please, share it with the court.
Objection!
What is the meaning of this? It's the delightful Englishwoman who's testifying at the moment. If you can't find fault with her testimony, then the cross-examination should be over. Immediately.
Oh, is that how it works? Absolutely not.
Huh? Ah! Apparently metal pipes falling on the head, too. Eh?
The detective is in the stand, which makes him a valid witness.
Table slap.
Yes, not to mention the fact that he's intimately involved in the case. Inspector Hosonaga. Yes. Do you have something to add in relation to the statement just made by Miss Brett? Well, yes, if you don't mind. I would like to speak. The lady is right. Our country's police practices are not as modern as those used in Great Britain. Which is why I, Satoru Hosonaga, always strive to make every investigation I'm involved in flawless. What do you really mean by that? I'll tell you what I mean. I won't have evidence lacking on my watch. I'm not afraid to take everything I can from the scene of the crime. It's preserving evidence, you see. I don't care if they call me a crime scene thief. I'm not ashamed of what I've done. Crime scene thief? Well, it looks like the lady's remarks touched a nerve there. Take this, for example.
New evidence!
Is that? This is the bottle of carbonated water that I took to the victim's table on the day in question. And yes, it's lost all of its fizz, having been opened 3 days ago now. But it was carbonated water. I don't care what anyone says. Yes, there's some left in the bottle. I can see it. One day our police force will be among the best in the world. The time is coming. I guarantee it. I can't say I condone the witness's actions, but I do understand the sentiment. Court will accept the glass bottle of water as evidence.
Carbonated water bottle. The carbonated water the victim and Miss Brett shared on the day of the murder. It was on the victim's table.
Miss Brett. Can you confirm this is indeed the bottle from which you drank on the day of the victim's death?
Yes, it was that bottle.
What's that about? She seemed to avert her eyes when she answered the judge's question. Very well. Counsel, you may resume the cross-examination. And the inspector will kindly control his fervor.
Fervor. Ah! Goodness gracious. Too many metal pipes. Too many metal pipes. Hi, Silver. Hi, Silver. Hold on. Before we do anything first, we got a new piece of evidence. How about we look at it? Let's take a look at it. There we go.
So this carbonated water is the last drink Dr. Wilson ever had. It looks as though there's a little left in the bottle, although it's just plain water now. No, I've been sweating so much, I'm absolutely parched. I'll just have a sip of this to keep me going. No, Ryunosuke, can't do that. For one thing, that's evidence. You can't go drinking evidence. Oh no, you're right. Don't know what might be inside, too. Never cease to amaze me, Ryunosuke. In more ways than one. I wonder, will there be anything in this water? What's the matter? You've gone quiet all of a sudden. I think I might have just worked something out. Interesting possibility.
A possibility, huh? That maybe, I don't know, the water was maybe, I don't know, poisoned? Maybe? Or something like that? Maybe? So let's see. If there's some other way to take a man's life, if there's some other way a man's life can be taken without leaving a trace, please do show me. Well, how about we present this? Let's check if there's any funny stuff in this drink, huh?
Yes!
What is this? A bottle of water? Actually, there is one method of killing a man without leaving a trace that comes to mind. Obviously, I'm referring to poison. Poison? On the day of his death, we know that Dr. Wilson drank from this bottle of carbonated water. Could it be that there was poison inside? Could it be that the professor actually died after taking a sip from his glass? Order! Order! Order!
What was that timing with the table smack? What was the timing with the table smack there, Dalek? That was like perfect timing with that table smack, not gonna lie.
And on that day, who was sitting at the same table as the professor and able to slip the poison into his drink? There's only one person who could possibly have done it. Jazale Brett, it was you!
Objection!
This is outrageous! To suggest such a thing without a scrap of evidence!
You little rookie imbecile! Have you even considered the delicate situation our country finds itself in now? Have you forgotten that we have only just signed an accord of friendship with the British Empire? Have you even the vaguest inkling that your rash accusations could jeopardize the entire treaty?
Objection!
This is not a political arena. This is a trial to determine one individual's guilt with respect to one crime.
What?
The fact that this woman is British makes no difference. We are here to determine the truth.
Thank you, Kazuma. Thank you. Ahem. If I may,
I will silence you forever for this disgraceful...
Whoa! Did she just say shut up? Whoa! She really had enough. She really wasn't taking that, huh? Wow. Okay, lady. It is you who should be silent.
Of course. Dear lady! Where did that come from? She just snapped.
I'm afraid I may have spoken unfairly before. I offer my most humble apologies.
I'm sorry, my lady, to what are you referring?
I described your police force as inferior, but no matter how inferior they may be, you still investigated this particular point thoroughly, I believe. The bottle, I mean, Inspector, and whether it contained poison or not.
Of course. You did? Have you forgotten what my guiding principle is already? I strive for a flawless investigation every time. I don't believe it. Naturally, we tested the inside of the bottle and its contents. And what did you find, Inspector? I order tests for every toxin that's available in this country at the present time. We could find no trace of poison of any description in the bottle of carbonated water, Your Excellency. What? Are you sure? The tests were meticulously carried out by the chief coroner himself. No.
No! Dang it! There goes that hope. I'm very grateful to you, all you Japanese. You've successfully established my complete innocence in this horrid affair. Thank you.
But of course, dear lady, the pleasure was all ours. I was so sure. This can't be right. Everything falls into place if he was poisoned. Thank you, Count. I think that cross-examination has clarified everything. The prosecution have asserted a shot to the chest from this gun is the only conceivable cause of death. Furthermore, the accused, who by his own admission was holding this weapon, is the only possible culprit. I'm done for. The court wishes to apologize for the great inconvenience this has caused you, Miss Brent.
Oh no. I'm just glad the matter is resolved.
Before proceeding, I must ask the counsel for the defense. Do you have any further new evidence to present to the court at this point? Azuma? I'm sorry, Ryunosuke. I have nothing more.
Well, if you'll excuse me now, I really must be leaving. Whoa! Hold on! Whoa! Hi! Please, wait!
Isn't that... What is the meaning of this?
Forgive me for intruding on court proceedings, Your Excellency. Susato Mikotoba, Judicial Assistant to the Defense. Susato! That's a pretty name! By the way, love the choice of yukata. Very cute, very pink, love it.
Kotoba. In my darkest hour, with nowhere left to go, she appeared like a bolt of lightning. And in her hand, she carried a small package, wrapped in a furoshiki cloth.
Oh boy! She has new evidence for us! Let's go! Let's save our progress. We got our trial miracle. Let's go. The 22nd of November, 1:14 p.m. Supreme Court of Judicature, Courtroom 2.
Well, I understand that you are the judicial assistant to the defense, but why this sudden ingress into my courtroom?
Ah, a judicial assistant, and a woman no less. The rules state that females are not permitted into this court of law other than to testify. Yes, I fully understand. I only ask for 5 minutes of time. I have some vital evidence that I must hand over to the defense.
Ah, you're too late, little girl. This trial has already been concluded. 5 minutes. I will not allow a moment more. But, Your Excellency!
I am most grateful.
Who exactly are you?
I'm sorry. There is no time. Please, simply accept this for now.
What is it? A report about something? Written in English?
It's Giselle Brett's research.
The English woman's?
After the trial resumed earlier, I hurried back to the university. I went to Dr. Wilson's laboratory in the medical faculty and borrowed this paper.
Oh, yes, that's right. Brett was studying under the professor, wasn't she? So, does this research, whatever it is, have something to do with the case?
I'm afraid I don't know. I haven't been able to listen to the proceedings of the trial myself.
Oh, no, of course not. Special characteristics of Curar and its effects on human subjects. Interesting. Curar? What is that? I've never heard that word before.
Time's up. The prosecution demands the immediate removal of this female trespasser from the courtroom. Ouchie! Can you just chill? Please? Goodness gracious. There was too little time for me to read it in detail, but I've summarized what I could on a note just inside the cover. If you think it could be valuable, please cast your eye over it.
It's wonderful. Thank you.
Giselle's report. A report detailing an unknown poison that Miss Brett has been researching during her time at UMay University. Goodbye then, and good luck.
You've had long enough, Counsel. We cannot detain our English guest any longer. I ask the prosecution and the defense now one last time. Does either side have any further evidence to present to the court? I presume not, but...
Hold on. Let's check on that. Let's check on this. This poison. A poison made from the bark of certain trees in the jungles of South America. The hunters of the region have used it since ancient times to incapacitate their prey. Effects. Instant paralysis of the entire body and subsequent death, even in minute doses. Wow! That's an awful poison. Ugh! The above-mentioned effects occur when the poison enters the body through a wound, such as that inflicted by a blowpipe dart. Due to its ability to render the human body paralytic, it's believed that the toxin could have application as an anesthetic. However, a solution for the respiratory arrest caused as a result of the full-time body paralysis must be found first, or patients would die of suffocation. Oh, goodness! Ugh! Hey, hey! Yikes! Hey, hey, Beat! Welcome in.
I presume not, but...
The prosecution has made its case convincingly enough already. Nothing more to add, Your Excellency.
Ryunosuke, we're out of options. This really is our very last chance. Yes, I know. Your Excellency, the defense does have new evidence. That look. The unyielding stare of a true Japanese warrior. Well, Miss Brett?
Yes, Your Excellency?
If you wouldn't mind, perhaps you could grace us with your presence a little longer.
It is a delightful invitation, but I'm afraid it's not so very long until tea time. I'll have to politely decline.
Forgive me, Miss Brett. It seems I wasn't clear. I realized it was phrased as a question. However, I must ask you to treat that as an order.
I've said it many times before, but the Japanese language makes no sense.
My apologies, dear lady. So, counsel, what is this new evidence that demands the court's attention?
Well, obviously, we have a report to show.
Yes!
Oh wait, no, that's the wrong thing. I did the wrong thing. Oopsie. My bad. Hold on.
All right.
Whoops! I chose the wrong thing. Hold on. No. Hold on. My bad. Nope. Hold on. Hold on. I'm sorry. Mistype. Hold on. My bad. Let me try that again. Losing a credit there is not fun. Okay. This is what we want to present. Here.
Yes!
Miss Giselle Brett, we understand you are studying under Dr. Wilson at UMay University, doing research. Research, by sheer coincidence perhaps, into a deadly poison.
What?
Poison? Where are you going with this counsel? The toxin known as Curar, Your Excellency. Even the slightest amount of this deadly poison entering the body leads to instant death.
Objection!
What complete and utter nonsense? Curar, you say? I've never even heard of it.
You wouldn't have done.
What do you mean?
I mean that you wouldn't have heard of Curar before for one simple reason. It doesn't exist in our country. Doesn't exist. Correct. Which means, no matter what tests the police can do for toxins, they'd never identify Curar. Why? Because there is no test available here that can identify the presence of this highly deadly poison.
What? Oh, hoo, hoo!
Order! Order! Counsel, does this deadly poison truly exist? According to this report, authored by the visiting research student from England, Curar has been long used by the tribespeople of South America as a poison to lace their arrows.
Stop throwing metal pipes! Ah! Dark, I'm not really focused on that. I'm focused on finding out who the murderer is.
It seems that it's reasonably known among European doctors and scientists.
To lace their arrows?
The report states that it is produced from the extract of a tree that grows deep in the Amazonian jungle, and it was first brought back to Europe at the turn of the century by explorers. It claims that animals shot by arrows laced with Curar suffer instant death. Doesn't that about sum it up, Miss Brett?
Objection!
Trumpery! These aspersions are utter trumpery. To start with, if the victim had been administered some of this so-called deadly poison, he would have been squirming around and writhing in pain. The other diners surely would have noticed.
That's true. What do you say to that, Inspector? Obviously, I would have noticed a disturbance like that. I don't remember anything like that either. I didn't notice the professor being in any kind of pain. According to this, however, it's the other way around.
What do you mean, the other way around?
The very fact that the victim didn't show any visible signs of distress is evidence that Curar was used. Explain yourself, counsel. The moment this toxin enters a person's system, it causes instant paralysis. In other words, afflicted victims lose all strength and are completely unable to move. Even if they were in total agony, there would be no visible signs of pain at all. How terrible! Obviously, if a man lost all strength in his muscles, he'd collapse on the floor. But with a chair under him for support as Dr. Wilson did, the effects could go largely unnoticed. But I don't follow, Kazuma. That's just paralysis. I thought the poison caused instant death. The full explanation is extremely unpleasant. The poison causes immediate paralysis, as I said, leaving the victim unable to move. But after a short time, the paralysis is so severe it causes the muscle that controls respiration to fail.
Ah! Ugh! Oh gosh! That's terrible!
Respiration. In other words, the actual cause of death is suffocation.
Oh! Gosh, that's an awful way to die!
And all the while, the victim is conscious and aware, just unable to move.
That's horrible! That's horrible! That's hideous.
To the observer, it would look almost as like the victim was slipping peacefully into an endless sleep. But for the victim himself, his final moments would be a living hell. That is the true nature of this deadly Curar poison. And you're suggesting that this bottle, Council, actually contains this terrifying poison?
Objection!
This is all very convenient, isn't it? A hitherto unknown poison for which there is no means of testing. What a happy tale for the defense! Ahem. If I may. All these facts, you think you're so clever, but you must... Ah! She did it again. It is you who must be taught. Again with this! Goodness gracious.
Of course.
Dear lady! So, this is how you Japanese behave, is it?
What?
You steal another's honest work, and then announce the result as if you discovered them. I'm appalled. What a loathsome act.
Well, Miss Brett, the feeling is mutual.
Whatever do you mean?
Capitalizing on the unfortunate circumstances of an innocent man to frame him for a heinous crime. That really is a loathsome act. Wouldn't you agree?
Objection!
Enough of this. I, for one, refuse to accept it. The idea of some poison that doesn't even exist in the great empire of Japan is breaking the rules.
What's so funny?
Oh, excuse me. Your Excellency.
Yes, Miss Brett.
May I borrow that bottle for a moment, please?
Well, yes, I don't see, why not?
Don't get it too big for your boots, you insignificant little island boys. She's gonna drink it?
Sorry.
To an Englishwoman such as myself, this whole affair is a partial comedy. Your little police games and these foolish courtroom antics. It's laughable, really. But I'm getting bored of it all now. It's time for the games to end. Cheers!
Wait, what are you doing?
No sparkle left at all. How appropriate for this shabby affair. Nothing happened. Goodness! Whatever is the matter? You all look quite stunned.
So, no Curare. The bottle was clean. Is that what you're saying?
You look quite incredulous, little boy. But of course, that's the simple truth. Thank you for presenting the findings of my research so concisely here in this grand venue. Most kind.
Ugh.
Thank you, Waiter. Now then, Your Excellency.
Yes, Miss Bryce.
I should like to be excused now, please. Oh my gosh, she's trying to get away again! She's trying to get away again! I think I've given more than enough of my time for the furtherance of friendship between our countries.
Ah, yes, dear lady. We are most gratified with all the assistance you have given. This doesn't make sense. There had to have been poison in that bottle. So how? How did she swallow a whole glass and live to tell the tale? I don't understand it.
Well, I suppose if nothing else, this little Far Eastern charade will make for interesting conversation at the next party I attend in London.
There has to have been poison in that bottle, doesn't there? But there can't have been, because otherwise she would have keeled over dead. Come on, Ryunosuke, we have all the clues now. That bottle of water.
Wait. Hold on. Hold on. Wait. The above-mentioned effects occur when the poison enters the body through a wound. Oh, so if there's no wound, the poison doesn't work. So it contains poison.
The culprit did put Curare poison into Dr. Wilson's carbonated water. The defense refuses to change its position. You're serious?
Objection!
Fool, are you blind? There is no possible way that bottle could contain poison. I mean, we just saw.
Is Brett drinking the water from it?
That's right. Which rather complicates your argument, I think.
And I believe that complication can be explained.
How exactly?
I need to think through all the things that don't quite add up here, one by one. I'm sure the answer is in the evidence we have in the court record somewhere. It has to be. Very well. If the defense truly intends to assert its claim, then I must ask you to support this assertion with evidence. What explains how the witness was able to consume this supposedly poisoned water unscathed?
The report itself.
Yes!
The answer to this riddle is right here in Miss Brett's own research report.
Objection!
That's not a valid explanation.
No?
After all, we don't speak English. That report is utter gibberish. This impudent young scoundrel is trying to ridicule the court, Your Excellency.
I'm not trying to ridicule anyone. Honest. I'm just reading Susato-san's notes. I concur. This report is just too extensive to be considered entirely by the court. It will direct us to the pertinent section, Counsel. Which section of the report reveals the alleged answer to this riddle?
The special characteristics.
We've been hearing a lot about this Curare poison. And it's left me curious about something.
For the first trial, this is a long one. Oh, yes, it is. Very much so.
Oh, Counsel. Well, it sounds as though indigenous hunters have been using this poison for years and years. To lace the heads of the arrows that they shoot at whatever prey they're hunting. So we've been led to believe, yes. And the point of hunting is to catch prey to eat.
Get to the point, please.
But if they were to use these laced arrows, doesn't that mean there would be traces of poison left on the prey the hunters were going to eat? Yes, good point. So surely the hunters wouldn't want to eat their prey, would they? Because then they'd be eating poison. Good gracious, Council! No, that would be madness! But I actually found the answer to that conundrum in this research paper here. Under special characteristics, it says this. The poison starts to work after entering the body through a wound. Through a wound, you say? I see, that makes sense. Yes, the mention of that particular detail seemed a little strange to me, though. But it all makes sense when you interpret what's written like this. When Curar enters the body through an open wound, it has terrifying poisonous effects. However, when it enters the body via the mouth, it has no poisonous effects whatsoever. What? Miss Brett, you authored this research. You knew Curar's special characteristics. And you knew that you could make a spectacle of drinking that water without any danger to yourself. You meddling little... Whoa! Rapscallion! Well, Ryunosuke, it turns out you're an even better lawyer than I thought you'd be. Really? Me? A lawyer?
Objection!
All this poison talk is fascinating, I'm sure, but I fail to see how it possibly... Go!
So the ill-bred little puppy has a new toy to play with. Some facts he read in a book. But I'm afraid knowledge doesn't suit you, little boy. It only makes you look silly.
What are you trying to say?
Your schoolboyish logic has a fatal flaw.
Schoolboyish? Flaw?
As even your brain has managed to deduce, Curar is safe to ingest. It seems likely that its effects are neutralized by the acidic nature of the gastric succus.
Oh, yes, well, of course. Gastric suckers? What are they?
So, if this lethal poison is completely harmless when drunk, the professor wouldn't have died when he swallowed it, would he?
Ah! That's right. Good gracious!
That's basic science. Science that even a schoolboy should be able to understand, no? Wait, though! There is a way! He did have a wound in his mouth! He had a tooth pulled! He went to the doctor for a tooth removal!
Order! Order in the court! Order! The logic holds. If the lady and the professor drank the same poison, they would be affected in the same way. Are you trying to suggest?
Yes, this Curar poison is completely irrelevant to the case on trial. That's right! Surely even a little cockroach like you could understand something as simple as that.
What is this? Welling up inside me. I've never felt like this before. It's a sort of conviction to break down all the discrepancies. It's so intense, almost rage-like. And more than anything else, it's an animalistic desire to take down my prey.
Objection!
Oh! First objection! Let's go! Let's go!
I don't think so, Miss Giselle Brett.
How dare you use that tone with me?
You know very well that there is no fatal flaw here. You know exactly why, even though both you and the victim swallowed the same poison. You are alive, but Dr. Wilson is dead. Counsel, I'm sure I don't need to remind you. You must provide compelling evidence. As we now know that the poison is completely harmless when ingested. Why would Dr. Wilson alone have been killed by the Curar?
That would be the medical report.
Take that!
As Miss Brett so readily pointed out, she drank the same water as the professor. However, there was a fundamental and fatal difference between the two diners. A fatal difference?
You can hear it, right? You hear the objection themes throughout.
The toxic effects of curare are only felt when the poison enters the body through an open wound. So for a healthy person with no injuries, drinking it is completely harmless. But what if there was a wound inside of the mouth of the person drinking the poison water? Inside? Yes, like the wound you might have if you had just been to the dentist and had a tooth extracted, for example. Ah! Oh! Miss Brett, you've acknowledged many times in your testimony already that you were well aware of Dr. Wilson's dental appointment that day. Ah! So that's it. You used that knowledge to orchestrate this. Is she laughing?
I don't like to repeat myself, but honestly I can't resist. These childish court games and your half-baked arguments are all so puerile.
What do you mean?
Don't worry, little schoolboy. You'll find out soon enough. You see, when you leave vital evidence lying around, you never know what might happen to it.
No!
I mean, it could just slip.
No! Don't you dare!
Oh dear. How careless of me. I'm afraid some crucial evidence may have just been tragically destroyed.
No!
What a hag!
What a hag is right! She just smashed that bottle! And in the Supreme Court, what a terrible blunder! Officer, what are you waiting for? Collect up as much of the water from that broken bottle as once.
You're wasting your time. This delightful carpet under my feet here was a gift from the British Empire. I assure you it will soak up the water beautifully. You have neither the technology nor the presence of mind to recover it.
How could you? You won't get away with this.
You can thump the bench and shout as much as you like, little boy. But I'm afraid we'll never know now, will we? If there really was poison in the bottle or not.
You!
And let us not forget, we still have some very compelling evidence left intact. Isn't that right, counsel for the prosecution?
Oh, of course, of course! You're referring to this photographic print, I presume, dear lady.
That's right. And really, looking at this photograph, it's clear as day, isn't it? The poor professor was sitting with his back to me. So of course the only person who would have shot him from the front is the little schoolboy.
Objection!
No, you killed the victim that day, using curare. And then, in order to frame Ryunosuke Naruhodo for the crime, you waited until he picked up the pistol you had arranged for him to find on the floor, before you shot the professor's dead body in the chest with your own hidden gun. Then, in the confusion that followed, all you had to do was turn the dead professor and his chair around. You see, you had every opportunity to commit this crime.
What a wonderful imagination you have, young man. A hidden gun, you'd say? And I shot the professor's dead body, did I? Well, I'm terribly sorry, but you don't have a shred of evidence.
Exactly. And as you have nothing to support your wild claims, the prosecution's stance remains unchanged. The victim, Dr. John H. Wilson, was killed by a gunshot to the chest. Delivered in cold blood by the accused, Ryunosuke Naruhodo. This is unbelievable. How can this be happening? We had her, but now, is she really going to get away with it? The way she destroyed that evidence was obscene. Ryunosuke, yes? You've come this far, but now you're the only one who can finish it. What? What do you mean? We've lost a vital piece of evidence, it's true. So if there are any clues left for us to use now, they must be in your head. In my head? You told me before that your powers of observation were the one thing you could really depend upon. Well, yes, that's true, but I didn't manage to notice that this woman was a foreigner with a swan on her head. So think back again now. Try to remember every last detail about the scene that day. Everything you saw, everything you felt, every color, every smell. What I saw, what I felt. Every color. Is Kazuma right? Somewhere in this vibrant memory of the same scene in my head. Would there be another clue as to the exposed identity of Dr. Wilson's killer?
Well, there is something.
Actually, Kazuma, I think I might have something. Thinking back over everything I saw, I think I might have just uncovered another clue. Haha, you always have something up your sleeve, don't you, Ryunosuke? Come on, then. Let's wipe the smug smile off that Englishwoman's face with some evidence. All right. I can't wait. It's been niggling me for a while now that something feels amiss in my memories of that day. Whatever it is could be the key to arriving at the truth about all this. It's here somewhere. The clue that shows who Dr. Wilson's real killer must have been is...
Hold on. How about that lovely little thing of blood right here on this plate, huh? Right here.
Inspector Hosonaga, answer me this. Yes, what is it? Ugh, he's still miles away. Probably thinking about that bottle being smashed. As you've said a number of times now, you strive for perfection in your investigations, don't you? Absolutely. I wonder, therefore, if perhaps you took anything else from the scene of the crime. Like, for instance, the plate of steak that you took to the victim's table that day.
Objection!
Wait a minute. Where are you going with that? Oh! Where are you going with this, little boy?
It's just a memory that's been troubling me.
What memory?
I saw the scene shown in this photographic print with my own eyes that day. And I saw that on the wooden base of the plate that the steak was served on was a spattering of blood.
What? Oh, really? And what of it? Obviously, that must have happened when you shot the professor.
No, that can't be the case. Take a good look at the photograph and the relative position of everything there. The plate of steak is almost directly behind the victim. If I'm supposed to have shot Dr. Wilson in the chest from the front, there's no way that blood from the victim could have ended up directly behind him. Ah! Yes. For blood to have made it onto the plate, it implies the plate was between the victim and the shooter. Means the shooter must have been sitting opposite the professor, as you were. Just say your Brett.
I beg your pardon?
Objection!
This is beyond ridiculous. Fabricated nonsense. Does the court seriously expect it to believe something the accused has apparently just remembered seeing?
Hold it!
This could be the moment that my entire career in the police force has been leading to. Inspector, you mean... Yes, I took the plate. In the interests of preserving evidence from the scene of the crime. I took it, meat and all. And I don't care if they call me a crime scene thief because of it.
You did what?
I took the steak that you had been eating, Miss Brett. I took the steak that the sergeant had been eating. And I did it all in the name of justice. Then we can find out for sure whether or not there's a bloodstain on Miss Brett's plate. We must examine it, now! Inspector, the court wishes to examine the plate from the victim's table immediately. Yes, sir! Sorry for the delay. Here is what you ordered. The steak. Well, what about the blood? Is there blood on it? Of course there isn't! Quickly, Inspector. The blood, man! Show the court! Of course. Examine the plate at your leisure. No. Blood. No blood anywhere. But no, that's impossible! I know I saw it. I'm sure of it. It was right there on the table behind the professor. There was blood on the side of the plate.
What an unbecoming expression, little boy. You see, this is why I always say you can't trust what the Japanese tell you.
Ah!
I couldn't agree more. In the case of this disgrace to the Empire.
I believe we may finally have reached a conclusion in this trial.
Let's hope so. So let's pretend attempted court proceedings is painful to watch. But I do promise to do my best to forget all about it when it's over.
Heh! This sorry-looking steak reveals the facts all too clearly.
If this sorry-looking accused wishes to examine it again, be my guest. Alright, let's do it then.
Was the plate I saw, or thought I saw, just a figment of my imagination?
No? Hold on. Let's give it a look over.
Huh? What in the world is this? I think it's a Koban coin. And the hallmark is from the Hoei era, I believe. No, I don't mean what it is. I mean, look, what is it doing there? Wait, did you say it was a Hoei Koban? Yes, and apart from the meat juices, it looks to be in good condition. I imagine it's very valuable. This isn't the first time today that there's been talk of a Hoei Koban. I've heard of pearls before swine, but never heard of bullion in bullion. I don't think you ever will again. This is extraordinary, though. This means... This emblem on the side of the plate. Is it a cat? The cow, obviously. Most likely because the restaurant's signature dish is beefsteak. It seems a lot of different restaurants have their own unique tableware. So this is the symbol of Le Carnaval, is it? Okay.
Let's head back for now.
This is it now. I've lost. Ryunosuke. It's not over yet. Not until the final gapple. Huh? Never stop believing in yourself. Keep looking forward, no matter what. Even myself? Really? Maybe I should at least examine the evidence for myself. As the evidence requested by the defense is not shown to be problematic in any way, I presume further examination of the evidence in this trial will be unnecessary. Does the defense have any objection? That bloodstain was going to clinch the trial for me. Can this plate of steak reveal any other clues at all?
There is another clue.
Your Excellency, please wait. This plate of beef is hiding another clue. Another clue that will reveal the shocking truth.
Objection!
The only thing that's shocking here is your unhealthy fascination with beefsteak. Your Excellency, I think I've made myself clear, haven't I? I will not be able to turn a blind eye to any more unnecessary procrastination in this trial.
I'm sorry, Miss Bright, but we must ensure a thorough examination of the evidence. I will not give a ruling until I'm completely satisfied that all reasonable doubt has been dispelled.
I see. As a newly affirmed ally of my country, that's still your position, is it?
Thank you, Your Excellency. Counsel for the defense, you will now clearly show the court what you are alluding. Where precisely on this plate of beefsteak is this new clue to be found?
Where is it? Under the steak. All right. How about right under here? All right, hold on. There we go.
I think it's...
Yeah, we already read this already.
Wait.
Yeah, hold on. Yep. Out of order, I guess. But okay, hold on. Okay. And then right here.
Got it!
Got it.
Good gracious! That's...
Thank you for the hydrate. Guess you could say the stakes have never been hot. Okay, moving on.
Koban? What on earth? A Hohe era wanted that. Miss Brett. This is in fact the beefsteak that you ordered at the restaurant on the day in question. Is it? Tell me. Why is there an old coin seemingly hidden underneath the meat?
Shut up!
What a ridiculous question! How should I know? I've never seen that thing before in my life. I don't know what it is, but I want no part of it.
Objection!
I fail to see how this is relevant. A coin under the meat. That could simply have been a careless mistake by the chef in the moment of distraction.
Objection!
Don't be absurd. We're supposed to believe that this happened by accident in the kitchen. A rare Hohe koan just happens to be hidden underneath that piece of steak. If this turns out to be irrelevant to the case, I'll rip up my ticket to Great Britain right now. Right. It can't be a coincidence. Your Excellency. Yes, Counsel. A rare Hohe koan just happens to be underneath that piece of steak. If this turns out to be irrelevant to the case, I'll give up my lawyer job right now.
Objection!
By all means, don't let us stop you. No one invited you anyway.
Shut up!
Perhaps, little boy, you should realize that it is you who is irrelevant.
Even though I'm the one on trial here. The point is, it's essential that we ask the owner of this coin if he can explain what it's doing under that steak. The owner? Yes, it's obvious. There's only one person it can belong to. The owner of the koban that was found underneath the beefsteak is...
This guy! Curio Korekuta.
Take that!
Obviously, it can only be the antique dealer and owner of Rasute, Curio Korekuta-san.
Curio... as in Mr. Cucumber something. Honestly, these ridiculous Japanese names are quite unfathomable.
Ah, yes. The old man who testified earlier alongside the military sergeant, correct? Yes, Your Excellency. I remember him saying that he was up to something with his Koban coin when it happened. At exactly the moment the gun was fired.
The gunshot interested me not.
I was far too busy on the floor. Too busy on the floor. Sorry, what were you doing?
Hunting for treasure. Indeed, the Hoera Koban, my prized coin.
And this Hoera Koban? Do you mean to tell me?
Objection!
No, please. Why would Korakuta-san's Koban be sandwiched between the victim's beefsteak and his plate? It makes no sense.
Yes!
Which is why I'm asking to bring Korakuta-san back to the witness stand so we can ask him. Officer, bring both witnesses that testified earlier back in here. Without a moment's delay. I can't believe we've come back round to that pair again. But I have a hunch, a strong hunch, that if we chase down the real significance of this Koban, we'll find that it's a key element in this case. Oh boy. Oh boy, here we go. What's this all about? Why have I been called up again? Don't you realize that it's dinner time for little baby Ido? But my son's belly is empty, he's fiercer than a pack of wolves.
Exploited by the police we were, like miserable dogs forced to bear false witness. And then cast from this courtroom myself, I became a ruined man in a trice. A worthless, withered antique. Nothing more have I to say. The sun has set on this Rasate shop owner's existence.
Be that as it may, Korakuta-san. Something has come to light that requires your clarification. As far as your Rasute memory serves...
Ah! Yes! That's it! The one! The very one! The exact one that it is! The resplendent, splendiferous Hoei treasure that my rusty bones managed to misplace that fateful day! It can't be!
As I thought.
Young man, enlighten this decrepit old fool. Put me out of my misery. Where was my treasure? Where was it dropped?
Oh, I'm not sure if it was dropped anywhere. We found your coin sandwiched between a beefsteak and its plate, soaking in the seasoned meat's juices.
Sandwich? Soaking? Seriously?
Clearly, it couldn't have fallen there by accident. Which means somebody must have hidden it there on purpose.
Somebody concealed my Hoei treasure between a slab of meat and a metal plate. Who would do such a thing? Such an unconscionable thing.
Excuse me. Could I say something? Yes, of course. Proceed, Inspector. I mentioned this earlier on in trial, but I was working undercover in the restaurant in order to investigate another case.
Thank you for the stretch. And the hydrate. Ah, yes. That's right. A secret undercover operation.
The Carnival is a high-class Western cuisine restaurant. It attracts wealthy diners, including many foreigners. Recently, there's been a run of similarly executed thefts targeting the restaurant's rich clientele. A number of such incidents have been reported to the police bureau. Wicked crimes indeed. Wanted to nip the case in the bud quickly, especially with so many foreigners being affected. So that's why you were sent in undercover, is it? Yes, I took on the job of waiter at the restaurant in order to flush out the criminal. It seems likely that this Koban incident is the work of the same thief. So unbeknownst to us, there was a master thief at work in the restaurant on a regular basis. The place was already the scene of several crimes, it seems. Don't know about the master thief part, but the identity of the person who stole and hid Korekoto-san's koban is all too clear. What? What? I think the court would like to hear the defense's view on this matter. Tell us, who is the despicable scoundrel that stole Korekoto-san's koban and hid it under the steak?
There's only one other person. It had to have been Nosa. You, sir! As an army sergeant, that's despicable.
Take that!
Obviously, it can only be you. Sergeant Iyasa Nosa. What? How dare you monster! Monster? I stole that koban, did I? I'm the master thief of La Carnival, am I? You're seriously accusing me of these crimes, cadet? But it wasn't me. It was Ido. Ido is the mastermind behind all of this. Huh? The child? You would push the blame for your crimes onto your own son? An innocent little baby? It's you who's the monster, Sergeant Nosa. You... Ah! Whoa, goodness gracious. Oh! Ow! Ow! Oh, that sounds like it hurt.
Did you break your back there, buddy? Ow!
Nippon Imperial Army. Sergeant Iasan Noya. Preparing to stand down in the Supreme Court, sir. Do any of you know of the extraordinarily low wages of the Nippon Imperial Army pays to those it expects to keep its country safe? I understand that the temporary increase in taxation owing to the recently ended conflicts remains in place. And I have heard it's hard for lower-ranking soldiers to make a living. Yes. All I want is to put a hot meal on the table for my son! That's why you were stealing things at the restaurant? The place is heaving with money. Every 3 days, I'd go there and do a reconnaissance for a target. And I'd enjoy chomping my way through a good steak at the same time. It sounds like he doesn't bother with a knife and fork even, which is worryingly believable. And your target that day was the old man and his koban.
Yes.
I'm sorry, but he looks like Wario or Waluigi with his messed up stash now.
Yeah, he does. He does.
Yes, sir. He was an easy target. I slipped the coin into my pocket without any trouble at all. A veritable phantom thief you are.
Phantom thief? Sorry, focus.
I was all set to leave the steak I was halfway through devouring when it happened. Yes, when the professor was shot. I knew that if the police conducted a search and found the coin in my pocket, I'd be finished. I do too. So I hid the incriminating evidence as fast as I could. On the double. I slipped it under the steak, hoping that I'd be able to rendezvous with it again at a later date.
Wait. Your steak? This is ridiculous. Perhaps you could carry on with this absurd prattling in your own time.
Well, Miss Brett?
Oh, of course, dear lady. Of course, how rude of us. I'm quite sure there's no need to detain you any longer at all. May the esteemed gentlewoman please be excused, Your Excellency.
Indeed. The theft of the Koban was clearly perpetrated by this baby-saddled sergeant. It would certainly appear to be unrelated to Dr. Wilson's murder.
Of course it is. Hiding a coin under a lump of meat. The sheer nonsense of such an idea astounds me.
Nonsense, is it? Well, gosh.
And as for picking up your steak and biting into it without using a knife and a fork, it's beyond nonsense. It's pure madness.
Very well. Now that all questions concerning this witness's testimony have been answered, I see no further justification for detaining her. Miss Brett, you are free to leave.
Thank you, Your Excellency. Good luck, everyone. And good day.
Ryunosuke, what's the matter with you? This is no time for daydreaming. Oh, no, it's just... something about Miss Brett's parting words there got me thinking. I can't quite work out what exactly, but something she said jarred with me. I feel like there's a contradiction in there somewhere. Something didn't quite add up. If that's the case, don't just stand there thinking. Make your voice heard. Sorry? You can think later, but if you don't call out now, it'll be too late. The trial will be over.
Hold it!
Wait, Miss Brett.
What is it now?
I'm afraid, just one last time, there's something I'd like to ask you. I'd like you to explain the contradiction in your parting words from just a few moments ago.
What are you talking about? What contradiction?
Objection!
What new student nonsense is this?
Well, what parting words are you talking about, Ryunosuke?
Hiding a coin under a lump of meat? The sheer nonsense of such an idea astounds me. And as for picking up your steak and biting into it without using a knife and a fork, it's beyond nonsense. It's pure madness.
Yes, I'm right. What she said there exposed an undeniable contradiction. I'm going to need to see evidence, Counsel. If Miss Brett's words truly are contradictory, where is the evidence to prove it?
How about... Where is that crime scene photo? Huh? Right here. How about the fact that... How about this lovely silverware that's at the table, huh?
Take that!
The photographic print of the scene taken immediately after the incident occurred. What's interesting is this plate of steak that you can see on the victim's table. The steak that Miss Brett had been eating before the professor was killed, yes? Go on. More accurately, Your Excellency. The steak that was on the victim's table just before the professor was killed. Now you're just splitting hairs!
Alright, I just checked. This game is almost as long as Ace Attorney 1, and yet this test trial is 3 times longer than any other. Dang! This is a long first trial, then.
Not true. Doesn't something about the steak strike you as very unnatural?
Unnatural? What on earth do you mean?
It's extremely obvious. I'm talking about the shape of the edge where it's been eaten.
Ah!
I see you've noticed it too, Miss Brett. Noticed what exactly, Counsel? Just a few moments ago, Miss Brett claimed no Englishman can even contemplate picking up a steak and biting into it without using a knife and fork.
Of course she did. She's a refined English gentlewoman herself.
To take a good look at this steak, in particular where the edge has been eaten. As you can see, there are clearly defined barbaric teeth marks here.
Ah!
Oh! It looks like Miss Brett has realized something. So, if the witness, as she claims, wouldn't contemplate eating anything without using a knife and fork, there shouldn't be teeth marks in the steak at all.
Objection!
But what is your actual point? Perhaps the delightful Miss Brett was ravenously hungry and couldn't help. Oh, whatever you say, dear lady. As I said, I really must be leaving now. Afternoon tea with the Minister of Justice cannot possibly wait any longer. Of course. This will be all over in the blink of an eye. Rest assured, I'm about to put this rookie in his place. Just leave everything to... Whoa! I've heard enough! You irritating little spectacled samurai relic! Of course. Yeah, lady! What's the matter, Miss Brent? Have we ruffled your feathers? Clearly, the witness knows what this means. She's realized the catastrophic implications these teeth marks in the steak have for her. Yunosuke, you know where you're going with this. Yes. Now at last, it's all come together. The mysterious teeth marks in a steak that had allegedly been eaten with cutlery. The reason why the bloodstain I know as sauce somehow seems to have disappeared. And most importantly, the evidence that proves once and for all who shot Dr. Wilson that day. I accept that these teeth marks in this steak are a little unnatural, as you put it, Counsel. But what exactly are you suggesting that tells us? Everything, Your Excellency. Everything? Yes, I believe that these barbaric teeth marks in the steak here amount to conclusive evidence in this case. Evidence that will prove beyond any doubt who shot Dr. Wilson. Conclusive evidence? How many times have I heard that today? You wouldn't know the meaning of the phrase, typical Japanese empty threats. How can you be so sure? Oh, it's quite simple. If you really had such conclusive evidence, you would have presented it to the court long ago. Actually, the evidence I'm talking about hasn't been brought before the court yet. Hasn't been? What? But just because it hasn't been shown yet, doesn't mean that the evidence does not exist.
Objection!
This is absurd. The trial has run several hours already, and you say there's evidence yet to be brought forward? That can't be. I don't believe you have it.
Objection!
I don't, but there's someone who does have it. Someone in this very courtroom. And if that person is willing to submit the piece of evidence I'm referring to, it will solve every remaining mystery about this case. Very well. Excuse me! Oh! That was a big sneeze. Whoa! Woo! I have a feeling that this will be my last request of the defense in this trial. Thank you. Who possesses the conclusive evidence that will reveal the truth about this whole affair? That would be Satoru Hosonaga! Present that other steak!
Take that!
The answer is obvious. It's Inspector Hosonaga. What? I have it. Yes. You think I've been withholding conclusive evidence? That's ridiculous. No, I'm not saying that. Everyone's attention has been focused on this steak with the teeth marks. Yes. Now, earlier this afternoon, Sergeant Noza told the court the following. I'd enjoy chomping my way through a good steak, as well as admitting to stealing Korikoto-san's coin. He told us that he had slipped it under the steak. You watch it, Cadet! I'm a superior officer! Sergeant Noza, would you please confirm something for me? Was the steak you put on the coin under, in fact, your own steak? Attention! Affirmative, of course! I might be a soldier in the Imperial Nippon Army, but still. I'm not brave enough to ask a foreign gentlelady if she'd mind me manhandling her meal to hide something in it. In other words, the steak that the detective submitted as evidence earlier was in fact Sergeant Gnosis' meal.
Objection!
But that makes no sense! That plate was taken from the victim's table.
Objection!
Yet the gentlewoman doesn't take bites out of her steak, nor did she have any opportunity to steal the coin. Of course I didn't steal it! To even suggest such a thing would be an affront to the entire British Empire! Ellen, how do you explain this paradox? Exactly. Surely you're not going to suggest that the sergeant switched the two steaks over. Who did switch the plates? Well, after it happened, when I saw the civilian had been murdered right in front of my eyes like that, I panicked. As I said, I immediately lifted my steak and hid the coin underneath it. But then when the waiter announced he was an undercover policeman, I thought I'd had it. If he decided to investigate my slab of meat, that'd be it. I'd be getting my marching orders. So when the cadet here was arrested and taken off to the kitchen, I seized my chance. With military precision and timing, I switched my steak with the one on the foreign lady's table. What? You can't have! I never saw you do such a thing! It was called Operation Lightning Bolt. There was no time for strategic planning. It was do or die, I tell you. So yes, I did what had to be done. Unbelievable! However, fear not, Prosecutor-san. What now? I swear on the brass buttons on my uniform, that's all I did, sir. All you did, that's plenty, Sergeant.
Yes!
So, if Sergeant Gnosis switched the plates over, it means he took Miss Brett's steak and the plate it was on back to his own table. Yes, that follows. Inspector Hosonaga. Yes. Earlier in this trial, you told the court this. You said that you had not only taken Miss Brett's steak after the incident, but also the sergeant's. That's to preserve evidence. You'd taken both. Ah! That's correct. And please present it to the court now. The plate that was actually on the victim's table at the precise moment he was shot. Woo! Pursuit! Let's go! Woo!
Shut up!
What can that possibly tell us now? I mean, a cold slab of tough meat. It can't have the slightest bearing on this case.
Objection!
No, you're not wriggling your way out of it this time, lady. I beg your pardon? Surely you're not that forgetful. Surely you remember the reason why this steak pan promises to prove such a problem for you, no? You're the ones who decided it was a problem, not me. The reason the defense asked to see that plate was to confirm something the defendant remembered seeing. Thinks he remembers? I'm quite sure of what I saw, Miss Brett. On the side of the plate that was on the table directly behind Dr. Wilson, there was a clear spattering of blood from the gunshot wound to the victim's chest. I believe the defendant's memory serves him well. And now we have the evidence to prove it. The plate you are eating from, Miss Brett. Let us not prolong this any further. Inspector, you will show the evidence to the court. Present the beefsteak and plate that was originally on the victim's table at the time of the incident. Yes, sir.
Look at him go!
Sorry for keeping you.
Look at that! Clear spattering! Like... Hi, Aiden.
Please feel free to examine it.
And there it is!
The blood stain. It's clearly visible. Look!
Yes!
Now this makes everything clear. The blood you can see on the side of the plate shows that at the moment the victim was shot, he was facing the table with his back to me. In other words, it's impossible for Naruhodo-san to have shot the victim.
It can't be!
In fact, there's only one person who could possibly have shot Dr. Wilson from the front. I'm sure everyone knows by now who that person is. That's right. Miss Giselle Brett. It's you!
Outdone by a Japanese? Me? By a Japanese schoolboy? No! 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 Whoa! Ah! Whoa! What? What the heck was that? Oh my gosh! Well, with that, it's finally over. It's finally over. Please excuse my little outburst. I briefly lost my composure. Most unbecoming behavior for an English gentlewoman. Forgive me.
Well, Miss Brett, I think it's time you told the court what actually happened that day. The truth this time.
Gladly, Your Excellency. It was I who took the professor's life, using curare. As you surmised, I chose that particular day for one very important reason. The professor had a dental appointment for the extraction of one of his teeth in the morning.
So you planned to kill the professor, knowing that no trace of poison would be found in his water. Because curare is unheard of here in Japan.
Yes. Of course, I never intended to remain at the restaurant for as long as I did. I only needed to see the professor take one tiny sip of his water, and it would all be over. I would place the steak I had ordered in front of him to make it appear as though he had been dining alone, and leave immediately. However, before any of that happened, there was an unexpected visitor at the professor's table.
That would be me, I suppose.
Yes, you. Who else? Such a trifling matter, but the fact that you decided to come over to greet the professor meant that I had lost my chance to slip away unnoticed. In due course, the professor took a sip of his water and was paralyzed. I made sure he was sitting at his chair in such that he wouldn't fall. There was no going back at that point. So I concocted a plan on the spur of the moment.
A plan to pin Dr. Wilson's murder on this innocent man.
I happened to know that the professor always carried a gun. I decided to use that fact to my advantage. I had the bottle of curare in my handbag. And my own pistol concealed under my skirt. Under your skirt?
So I was right. There were 2 guns.
Yes.
And then I finished my coffee and got up to leave. That's when I noticed the professor's gun, which you had presumably placed on the floor. Placed where you were sure that I would notice it.
And everything went according to plan. You noticing the gun as I intended. And then, just as you bent down to pick it up,
that's when you shot the professor with your own gun. Even though at that point he was already dead.
naturally, the gunshot caused a commotion, at which point the waiter appeared.
Obviously, I assumed Naruhodo-san was the culprit and apprehended him. I took him to the pantry that adjoins the kitchen and locked him inside.
That's when I took the opportunity to turn the professor and his chair around.
Because of course, we needed to make it look like the defendant had been shot Dr. Wilson from where he had picked up the gun.
So there you have it. That is the entirety of my misdemeanor. Your Excellency,
Yes.
I wonder, might I speak with you in private later?
I shall call her.
Thank you. Good day then, everyone. I hope you can forgive me, Naruhodo-san.
It would seem this trial has finally run its course. I presume the prosecution is in agreement.
This can't be. Taketsuchi Aochi doesn't lose. Not to the likes of this rookie student.
You better start getting used to tough opposition.
Ryunosuke Naruhodo!
Well, yes?
This insult to the Akuchi family name will never be forgotten.
You become conceited with age, Council, but the old have to stand aside and make way for the new. It's the way of the world. May you never forget that. Whoa! 1,000 millennia may pass, and still the Aochi clan will never measure up to the Naruhodo clan.
Okay, Kazuma, that was awesome! That was freaking awesome! Wow! Wow! That was awesome!
This trial, in the Supreme Court of Japan, will, I believe, go down in history as the start of a new chapter in our country's judicial system. Despite being summoned as the accused, you, Ryunosuke Naruhodo, presented an excellent case. I thank you, Your Excellency. The use of evidence and deduction to unravel the truth is a modern methodology. After all, it has only been a few short decades since our country has opened its doors to the wider world. But the Western ideas of science are rapidly gaining acceptance here. I feel sure that science will soon bring new methods of investigation and new procedures of justice. A new future of law awaits, but what it will look like I cannot begin to imagine. That is for the young to pursue. Kazuma Asogi. Yes. After this trial, you are set to embark on a journey of discovery to the illustrious British Empire. Learn all you can. Absorb everything of the wider world that you are able to. And do not forget, fulfill the mission imposed upon you. I understand, Your Excellency. What was that about? Why do you look so grave all of a sudden? Ah, never mind. As for you, Inosuke Naruhodo. Oh, yes? In you, I sense, how can I put it, unusual potential. I very much look forward to seeing how you carry that onwards. Thank you, Your Excellency. It is time to deliver the final verdict. I hereby find the defendant, Ryunosuke Naruhodo, not guilty!
Let's go! Woo!
Amazing. Mission complete.
Did it!
This court is now adjourned.
I love how it's petals instead of
thirsty.
confetti. I love how it's petals instead of confetti. Cherry blossom petals. Sakura petals.
I can't believe it. I can't believe what's happened. I made it. I defended myself and made it through that horrendous trial.
We made it too! Let's go!
Ryunosuke, finally pulled it off. Congratulations. Well, I couldn't have done it without you. Thank you, Kazuma. Ha ha ha. No, it was a pleasure to watch you at work. So, you owe me an extra large sukiyaki from the place on Yume University Street. Don't forget.
Good afternoon. All your hard work has certainly paid off. Congratulations to both of you for proving Naruhodo-san's innocence.
Ah, our trusty judicial assistant. You worked hard for that result too, you know.
Oh no, I didn't do anything.
Thank you so much! If we hadn't had that research report of Miss Brett's, I don't know how things would have turned out.
Your kind words should really be for my father. I was simply doing as he asked. It was his idea for me to go to the university and investigate.
Your father? Ah, yes, of course.
Forgive me for intruding on court proceedings, Your Excellency. Susato Mikotoba, Judicial Assistant to the Defense.
Speaking of Mikotoba. Ah, there you are. I believe congratulations are in order. Naruhodo, you did an excellent job. Thank you, Professor. Oh no, it is I who should be thanking you. After all, your efforts exposed the true criminal that took the life of my good friend. Good friend? Oh yes, you mentioned that before. It was you who actually invited Dr. Wilson to Yume University, wasn't it? Yes, that's right. Professor Mikotoba studied overseas himself. He went to study forensic medicine in Great Britain. Presumably, that's when you met Dr. Wilson. Exactly. In those days, we worked together in the same hospital. Oh, you worked together? I'd never heard you mention that before. Well, it was a long time ago now. Besides, it's your turn, Asogi. Great Britain is a magnificent country. It leads the world. In science, medicine, engineering, culture, and of course in law. Watch and learn, my boy. See what's happening in the world's largest melting pot. I will. I learn all I can. I swear on this, the spirit of the Asogi clan. You're not taking that sword to Great Britain, are you? Of course I am. A Japanese man's katana is his soul. This blade shows me where I need to go. And cuts down anything that's in my way. Yes, I've definitely seen how sharp it is already with my own eyes.
Poor Aouchi's top knot.
That reminds me. What happened to the woman? To Giselle Brett, I mean. After all, she's guilty of murder. Ah, yes, her. It's not easy to tell you this, but... What do you mean? Surely she's going to face trial herself now. She's the true culprit, after all. She will be leaving Japan in the very near future. For Shanghai. What? Shanghai? Giselle Brett will not appear in court again in this country. I'm certain of that. What? But why not? It's a matter of consular jurisdiction. Inspector Hosonaga! It was a hard-fought battle in the courtroom today. Very impressive to watch. I must congratulate— But what's that all about, consular jurisdiction? We cannot try this particular foreigner for her crimes here in Japan. What? We can't try her? But then, who? Who's going to bring her to justice? A British consular court will hear her case. Somewhere far away, where our voices can't be heard. But why a consular court? Professor, I simply don't understand. I thought consular courts were a thing of the past now that we've signed the friendship treaty. Yes, in normal circumstances, you're right. Then, so long as this is not a serious incident of a highly political nature to our respective governments, they can't invoke a consular court just like that. Oh, can't they? Yes. She's a student, but it doesn't justify our government making secret agreements about her fate, does it? Something strange is going on. So Miss Brett can't be held accountable for her actions here in Japan. I'm afraid that for the young students, today's trial was nothing more than a game all along. There was never any danger of comeuppance for her. I don't believe it. The British government's Foreign Affairs Ministry has demanded that we hand over custody of Miss Brett. They are obviously taking this case of a foreign student committing murder very seriously. It's all going to change from now on. And make it change. This is a time of great turmoil. It's a new era heralded by the start of the 20th century. One day, I have no doubt, that woman will receive the judgment she deserves. Yes, change is coming, and we're the ones driving it. Well, I think that's enough seriousness for now. This evening calls for a celebratory drink. But Professor, you're right. This is no time for gloomy faces. We should be celebrating Ryunosuke's not guilty verdict. Let's start having some fun. In that case, might I suggest La Carnival? As the head waiter, I should be delighted to provide you with ample food and drink. You're a detective, Hosonaga-san, aren't you? Let's not worry about details for now. To La Carnival! Will you accompany us, Professor? Of course. La Carnival's food is second to none.
I shall go and attend to the paperwork for Naruhodo-san's release.
Oh, yes. Thank you. Giselle Brett won't be tried here. I suppose that means I'll never know. I'll never find out why she killed Dr. Wilson. Kazuma. Yes, Ryunosuke? I just wanted to say thanks again. That's all. Really saved my skin today. Ha 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 ha. I didn't do a thing. You were the lawyer in there, weren't you? That defense was all your own work. Your skills made the difference, though. One day I bet you'll be the best lawyer in the world. I'm not so sure about that. Huh? To be honest, something kept occurring to me over and over again during that trial. I couldn't help thinking that maybe you're the one destined to become a great lawyer, not me. Well, come on, be serious! If I helped you today, it was the only right at the very start of the trial. But you have a natural talent for it. For being a defense lawyer, I mean. Oh no, not me! All that tense verbal combat? I never want to go through that ever again! I did what you told me to do, that's all. Because I knew I could trust you. That's the point. Sorry? What do you mean, that's the point? Listen, Ryunosuke. You know what the most crucial weapon is that any lawyer needs in order to win? Knowledge of the law? No. The ability to believe. To believe? To believe what? A defense lawyer has to fight for his clients. He has to believe in them at all times. Like you believed in me when I said I didn't do it. I'm human, just like you. I don't have some superhuman ability to know the truth. But you have to make a choice about what to believe and stick to it when you're defending someone. Sometimes in the courtroom, you can really be backed into a corner. But being able to remain faithful to what you chose to believe in that, even then, well, that's not something that anyone can do. It takes a special kind of person. Believing in your client. Just look at today's trial. I'm a student lawyer with precious little real experience. But you never stopped believing in me. Well, you faced seemingly hopeless situations time again. But you never stopped looking for the truth. And in the end, you found it. Through your own efforts, and because you never stopped believing in me. Thanks, Kazuma. There's something I want to ask you, Ryunosuke. It's a favor, really. Something very important to me. Oh? It sounds serious. What is... Ah, you're still here, are you? Oh, Inspector Hosonaga. I've arranged some rickshaws for us. Let's go. Thank you. We'll be right there. Let's pick up this conversation again later. We should be celebrating right now. Your first court victory. And your study tour to Great Britain, don't forget. Ah yes, that too. So my very first trial came to an end. Kazuma. Professor Mikotova. Susato-san, who acted as my assistant. Inspector Hosonaga, who didn't really play much of a part, but still. It was because of the help and support of all these people that I managed to get through that trial. But more importantly, Kazuma hadn't yet managed to ask his favor of me. Little did I realize just how much it would change my life. And that's it! That's it! Alrighty! Case 1 finally complete! Oh. Also, the shadow changed on this, the save file. I wonder who that could be. But anyways.
Yep, change is coming indeed. The doubtful men of Japan are gonna get a rude awakening. Prove them wrong and show 'em who's boss, Susato.
Oh, goodness gracious. We did it, though! Oh, goodness gracious. Finally! Dang, that case was very, very, very long. I was not expecting it to be that long. for a first case. And I guess who forgot to end up taking their break. Thank you for the hydrate. I forgot to take my break because I was so engrossed. Whoops. Surprised that it took 3 episodes. 1 2-hour session, 1 1-hour session-ish, and then another 2-hour session. So that's almost 5 hours for case 1. That's a lot. Alrighty, well. Woo! But either way, this case is finally solved. I can't wait to play the rest of it. This case got me hooked on this game. I cannot wait to continue playing through the rest of the cases. Alrighty though, on that note, we shall call it here. We shall find somebody to raid today before we head off stream today. Who shall we raid today? Let's see. Who is live today that we can raid? Not gonna lie, it felt a bit stretched with the gag weaknesses, but hey, if you have fun, that's what matters. I mean, if you really want to go there, there are some cases that are kind of like that in the crossover too. So, if you really want to be specific there, Grima. But it was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. I had a great time today. Alright. Let's see. Who is live today that we can raid? Mellow Teddy is live. Mellow Teddy is live playing some Palia. Moment for some chill vibes by the looks of it. Let's go ahead and raid her today. Let's go raid Mellow Teddy today. Alrighty though. If you're headed over to the raid, which you please type Shadeslay raid in the chat as soon as we go over there, so that Teddy knows that we are there to support her. We do have a raid message that you can use that is completely follower friendly if you would like to use that. Or you can create your own. Also, if you're heading over, be sure to follow all of her rules as you would mine. And once again, as always, have fun. Alrighty. Tomorrow there is no stream as I do not stream on Wednesdays. But on Thursday, we will be back with more Professor Layton and the Azran Legacy. Trying to remember where we are specifically in Azran Legacy. We're still in the jungle area. We're trying to figure out why the chief isn't laughing. That's right. So maybe we can get the chief to laugh on Thursday in Azran Legacy. Alrighty though. Thank you so much for coming, everybody. And I will see you all on Thursday for Professor Layton and the Azran Legacy. Bye! Stay sharp, Shadeslayers!